Hello everyone, I'm Usnik Biswas. This is my ninth experiment in my Java lab. So in this, I'm going to make a bouncing ball which will be on an applet, and it will tell how applets are used. So to use an applet, we have to uh, make a class, of course, which extends applet. Um, and In this program, I've used threading also. That's where I've implemented runnable. So as we extend applet, we'll have few uh, few functions which we can override and uh, which we can use it for our purpose. So this init function, it's like the initial uh, function which is made by which is in used in applet, which will give the initial, like before initial, its full form is initialization. So when the applet starts, these all statements which are inside this will start with it. So in this, I have this dot resize breadth and length. This is the resize. This is the size of the applet which is going to be made, and b1 equal to new bouncing ball. Like this is a function which this is a class I've created here. I'm going to explain that to you in some time. So I've created an object for that, and now I've also created a thread th, and I've started the thread. So in the paint function, this is another function which we can override inside the class. So in this, I've set the color of the background is red, and fill rectangle. This is a panel-like thing. Okay, so this is a program. This is a panel-like thing which is made by this one, and I've set a color of it to green. And this is another function which I've created in the bouncing ball class, which I've called through an object p1. And this is an update function. This is another function which is under the applet class. So we are updating like this paint g function which I've created here. So it will update it after some interval of time. This run is multi. This run is made for multi. When I implement runnable, that run should be uh, run should be called run and initialize also. So initialize is for both is used for applet and multi-threading, because in both we have to have some prerequisite settings. So whenever we start this any program of threads or applet. So inside this run, I have created a for loop, infinite for loop, where I'll give this move I'll call this move function over and over time. That is again another function which I have created in bouncing ball class, and we'll explain that. And we are going to repaint it like every time, um, after like every changing value of this move. So that will refresh the ball location. So this is the program. This is the output of the program. This like movement of this ball is done by the coordinates of that is given by this move function. And every time you see something is changing, like it's changing 1 1 1 1 1 1, so that is done, that is repainted over and over again. And the thread is put to sleep for some amount, 50 milliseconds, to let it give time for refresh. Put this inside a try catch so that if there is any error, we'll catch it. Inside this bouncing ball function, I have created four double values which will give this is the velocity of x, velocity of y, x and y, and uh, this is another graphics object which I created g, and this is another random variable which I created under the math dot util dot rand class. This will give a random value which we'll use within some time. So this is a constructor. When I'll create the class, these values which I created will be generated, and velocity of x and y are random values from this means math.rand, which will return this number. It means it will give from 0 to 9, and random direction, this will give from 0 to 2 value from 0 to 2. So every time it's 1, it will return 1. Every time it's not 1, it will return minus. This will give the direction, the random direction which we want in this bounce and bounce program. So we don't know where it will go after this. So it may go anywhere. Um, and this move will change the change the position of the ball wherever it's going. So this is the velocity which will determine the speed of the ball, and x is the current position of the ball, which x and y are the current coordinates of the ball, and velocity xy is the now it's the velocity of the ball, which will tell how many blocks it will move every iteration. So if and these are the bounds given to the ball. Like if if it if you don't give this, the ball will keep on bouncing even after this point. It will go there, go extend the frame, like go outside of this frame. So that's why you give these limitations, so that um, the ball won't go out of the picture. So this is all about applet, and in this program I have uh, another thing to do, uh, which is um, frame. So to create a frame, we need to extend JFrame, and in this program, I'm going to create a. Let me close this. I'm going to create a calculator which will. Uh, oh, sorry. Uh, Wrong. Not this one too. Window.java. Made this long back, so sorry, it's some issues. Yeah, this I'm going to make out of this program. So I've created this can act as an actual calculator, which is I can add things. I can minus all the functions of calculator can be done with this. So in to make this, this is a function where this is a class where I have made the layout of uh, this program, and also I've given the like all the buttons, its value and its name, the color of it, the font of it. I've used uh, a plugin for this my Eclipse, which will make the process easier. If you want to make from ground scratch, it is good, but it will take time. So um, I'll tell you how it works. This is the main class in which I created a thread where I'll I'll make it which will make it run more efficiently, which will make it to wait, and no error will occur if it does. So I've created a frame and set it to visible, and I've put it in try catch so that no exception will occur, and I've give this function as um, inside the constructor, so that it will be called whenever the class is made. This is that function initialize, which will create the whole layout of this calculator. Yeah, this one. So these are the text fields required, labels, buttons, and more buttons. We'll give and also the action performed. This is another uh, word action performed is when some event occurs, like clicking of a button or some clicking of a button and all. This program will get invoked. So whenever I click on this button, which is AC, so everything will be set it to 0. So likewise, whenever plus minus is given, there is an action performed which will change the sign of the entered variable. um, Set foreground colors to give I'll tell a few functionalities. Foreground colors to give the background color of this sets the background color of this component, and set background will give it will also give the background color of the component, but this is the actual color which we will see. This is the color which is there, but we will not be able to see at first. I've set a font here, set bounds. This is the the size of the button and all, and get content from this one will get content from the uh, from this field. Whatever this will help us to do various calculations. So this percentage will do this function, which is which will divide the number which was entered, like we know it. Mm, this will give the percentage, sorry, and this will divide. This button will divide, which I've made it inside this, and these are all these all like generated codes which I have made it from the GUI helper builder. And these action perform which I made, like whenever this 7 button is clicked, whatever will happen, I made it inside this action perform, it's the whole thing. So likewise I've created for all the buttons, uh, for one plus minus all the buttons I've created its function. And I've inside this I've created the GUI which extends frame and Windows listener and action listener, which will listen to, which will, if we don't give window listener, the not this, I'll keep it on for reference. So window listener, if you don't give these all buttons, it won't work. This is to listen to the Windows events which the window has, and give functionality to all these buttons. And action listener is whenever we do some action like clicking of a button or anything, that will work. So in this I've made the layout, which is like creating of the button, creating the J panel, creating the text frame. This GUI function, uh, GUI is the uh, constructor of this class, and in that I've given all the buttons its foreground name, and these are the action listener which I've implemented on all of these, all of in this frame, and I added the buttons inside the frame with using this add function. And inside the main I have created a GUI object, new GUI object set visible equal to. I have made this as visible. I have made an object of this GUI class and set the size of the window, like set the size of this one as 500 cross 500. Turn it on to 2. These are the functions which we have to create as we implemented the Windows listener. These functions will give functionality to whenever the Windows is activated, Windows closed, window closing. In this is the button. This is when this function acts when we click this one. So that's why when we click this one, this statement will get executed, which is to exit from it. So Windows deactivated when we minimize it, Windows deconfigured when we minimize it again. I don't know all of them. We have to use it anyway when we need. Action performed is this works when this event is happened. So this will this tf.getText will get the text from this text field, and then if it is divide, if this is the value which it gets, these all function will be working. So in this I have like divided it, else otherwise give plus and all. This function, this class, uh, when I made it to like call the jpanel, and in this I've invoked the run, like I made the what it's called thread which will call the this this class, and it will invoke it number of times, which will help to run this program. So I'll show you how it works. So let's plus something first. 2 plus 2 is 4. Clear it. 6 minus 3 is 3. 6, I can set it to minus into 5 equals minus 50 divided 2 is minus 15. Percentage out of 6 is this much percent. Set to plus minus and anything we want. Yeah, that's how it works. And this is all for this experiment, uh, which was on applet and JFrame. This connects the front end to the Java. This gives the front end of any Java application. Applets are used inside the browser, which we can use and to make small animations and all and functionalities to the browser. And this JFrame is used to give a front end to any program, which is what we mostly use. One with GUI, we don't use CLI programs anymore. So this is what that's why we use all of these front end applications. And that was all for this experiment. Thank you.